Namaste, very good evening, and welcome to all of you. I, Dr. Tejaswini Manogna, take immense pleasure in welcoming you all to this prestigious, world's largest virtual entrepreneurship summit, the TIE Global Summit 2020, hosted by the Hyderabad chapter. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of TGS 2020, I take the privilege and honor of introducing our honorable guest for today's evening, Sri Taraka Ramarao Garu, KT Ramarao, popularly known as KTR, Minister of Municipal Administration, Urban Development, Industries and Commerce, and Information Technology of Telangana State. A man with tireless work ethics and principles. A man who is constantly on the move, planning the big breakthrough of Telangana State. A massive inspiration to youngsters. Welcome, sir. We're honored to have you here. We also have on board Mr. Sridhar Pinnapureddy, the TIE Global Summit Chair, a first-generation entrepreneur and innovator, founder and chairman and managing director of Control S and Cloud4C. We also have Mr. Manohar Reddy, the core committee member of TGS 2020. May I now request Mr. Sridhar Pinnapureddy to kindly take over and conduct the proceedings of our grand opening ceremony of TIE Global Summit 2020.
Honorable Minister Sri KT Ramarao Garu, on behalf of the entire Thai community and especially the Thai Hyderabad chapter, it is my honor to welcome you to the Thai Global Summit 2020. It is because of you that this summit is being done. Summit of 2020 is being held by Hyderabad. You have encouraged the Thai in 2017 to bring Thai Global Summit to Hyderabad and have encouraged, promoted us to give the full support. And with that inspiration, the Thai Hyderabad chapter approached the Thai Global to bring the summit to Hyderabad. Thank you very much, sir. You are always there for our community and entrepreneur ecosystem as such in general. You are a dynamic young leader, and the biggest contribution that I see is T-Hub, the largest startup incubator that you've started. I know that you've spent not only with your vision to establish this, but also you went into the full details of how it will be, how it will come up, how it will help the startup ecosystem. 6-7 years ago, we were not in the space of startups. Hyderabad was not there in the startup category. Yes, we did well in the overall IT, but not in the startup space. Bangalore was the space where it became the startup capital. You have changed all of that. T-Hub and your several other initiatives, you have dramatically changed the startup scenario, startup ecosystem of Hyderabad. Thank you very much. On behalf of the entire Thai community, we wholeheartedly thank you for being a support for the community. You also encouraged women of Hyderabad to become entrepreneurs, established several initiatives for women of Telangana and in Hyderabad in general. Thank you very much for the same. And in terms of VHub, the exclusive incubator targeted at women was an innovation, I would say. Again, your brainchild. And thank you for joining us. I invite you to speak a few words to our Thai family delegates who are attending this summit.
Thank you, Sridhar. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all the participants in this conference. Thank you very much, Sridhar, who's the chair of Thai Global Summit. He's a native Hyderabadi, and his accomplishments obviously have made us all very, very proud, Sridhar. And I know that you're giving AWSs of the world and Microsofts of the world a run for their money. I hope you continue to do that, and I hope you continue to inspire many other entrepreneurs from Telangana, from Hyderabad, and from India as well. Great going, and my compliments to the entire team of TI Global. While I had requested you and your entire team to conduct your next big summit in Hyderabad, I never thought it would have to be virtual, because we none of us, anybody on the globe, in fact, would have imagined that we would see a day, we would actually run into a day when we'd have to be content doing these sessions online and virtually. Nevertheless, it's a very, very opportune time to connect, discuss, debate, and also learn from each other on how entrepreneurship can propel all of us towards normalcy, to back to pre-COVID times. Entrepreneurship, as you put it, Sridhar, is something that cannot be, of course, inculcated artificially. But nevertheless, I think with governments being enablers, with governments being the builders of ecosystem and the mentors and the connectors, I think things can shape up, and Telangana is a classic example in that context. If you look back, the last couple of decades or so, we find that some of the most breathtaking technologies, products, and solutions that we all enjoy today are, in fact, the outcomes of entrepreneurial efforts done everywhere in the world. In the new normal that we're going to witness post-pandemic, entrepreneurship is going to be even more important. We know that severe disruptions have happened in different sectors of the economy and society, and rebuilding the new normal will require massive contribution from entrepreneurs, particularly the digital entrepreneurs, because now everybody, is very, very conscious and is very, very aware of infectious diseases as well. In the last 7 to 8 months, as we grappled with this pandemic, we've also come across many remarkable examples of how entrepreneurial agility has brought out very useful tools and solutions that have helped us, in our COVID management strategy here in Telangana. There are many such examples that I can quote, but I'll only quote a few. We have an entrepreneur who was amongst the first to come out with a low-cost and highly accurate COVID testing tool, COVID testing kit right here from the state of Telangana. Another group of active young entrepreneurs also successfully fabricated a ventilator which costs 1/10 of the imported ones and has all the functionalities of a high-quality ventilator. And I'm proud that it was actually made in our state-owned facility called as T-Works, which is where all these young kids have been able to assemble and come out with a wonderful prototype, which we have already tested successfully. Another local entrepreneur also created a very useful mobile app, which was also used in our state for tracking and tracing. Another entrepreneur has also created a solution for home quarantine and remote monitoring of the patients in the quarantine. I can go on and on. The list is endless. But the key thing is why Telangana today, in fact, has done well in terms of other states, in comparison with other states when it comes to COVID management strategies, primarily because of some ingenious local solutions also. And at the same time, we also have done our bit in terms of proactive governance and proactive outreach. One should also realize at the same time that entrepreneurship does not flourish automatically. Unless there is an enabling and nurturing ecosystem like I was mentioning, entrepreneurship tends to die even before it has begun. I'm very proud to share that the innovation and entrepreneurial ecosystem that has been developed in the state of Telangana, not just by the government. It would be foolhardy for me to say that it was just the government which has done it. I think many accomplished private sector players and many accomplished individuals have come together, have been the stakeholders in this process, have worked with the government, and have very meticulously and comprehensively built this ecosystem. State government's intent has always been demonstrated through a well laid out series of policies. We have been one of the first states, earliest states, in fact, to have brought out our own policy on entrepreneurship and innovation much before the national programs like Startup India, etc., came into vogue. However, merely articulating a policy is not enough. India has many examples where brilliant policies were written, but very little action followed on the ground, and therefore they have not really taken off as they were expected to be. But we in Telangana have made sure that the intent is also translated into action by creating multiple institutions to take up this responsibility and drive forward in a very professional manner. Over the last 5 years, we have created some world-class institutions, the ones that you mentioned, Sridhar. T-Hub is one of the shining examples of what a government and private sector can do together. It is the country's largest technology incubator, and in the next couple of months, we'll have the world's largest incubation space here, right here, in the form of the phase 2 of T-Hub, which I welcome the entire TIE team to come visit and experience also. V-Hub is focused on women entrepreneurs and encouraging them in this space. T-Works, as I was mentioning, is India's largest prototyping facility, which will be up and running within the next 1 month. I encourage youngsters who are into creating solutions and particularly hardware prototypes to come and dabble in this. To establish a strong connect between the industry and academia in the state of Telangana, we have floated institutions like the RICH, the Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad. To nurture innovation culture from a very young age, we have come out with a vehicle called as the Telangana State Innovation Cell. In fact, Telangana is one of the very few states which has a Chief Innovation Officer, and we believe in catching our youngsters young from a very early stage, from high school. And we have a program which we call in Telugu, Intinta Innovator, meaning every household should and shall have an innovator at some point. We have run this program very successfully, and as a result, the other day on the World Disabled, the Day of the World Disabled, we had more than 50 youngsters from various parts of Telangana, rural parts like Peddapalli, Ramagundam, and Marangal, etc. All of them had come. All of them had exhibited their products, like the prosthetic arms, the tools that can help a deaf person, a tool that can help a visually impaired person, etc. Now, TSIC has been a shining example of how we can certainly inculcate a culture of innovation, if not entrepreneurship, at a very early stage. We also have created an institution called as the TASK, the Telangana Academy for Skill and Knowledge, which helps individuals and institutions work together with the government in skilling, upskilling, and reskilling. Now, each of these institutions that I've mentioned respond to the entire life cycle of an entrepreneur's journey, covering stages like generation of an idea, incubation, validation, prototyping, funding, scaling up, finding your employees, etc. Now, further, we have been able to identify the best quality of talent from the open market to run these institutions. Today, these are not run by bureaucrats in Telangana. These institutions, all the aforementioned institutions, are run by very talented individuals from the private sector. There are more than 100 success stories of these institutions collectively, bringing out successful entrepreneurs in different spheres and different verticals. We also realize that there is a huge hidden potential in our rural community to generate useful ideas which can be converted into products and solutions to solve some of the most pressing problems faced by the people of our country. Accordingly, we've started some very interesting programs that scout rural innovators, showcase their ideas before the larger public for idea validation, and then handhold and support them to become full-fledged entrepreneurs with a purposeful and useful product or solution to offer. In fact, one of the things that our Honorable Chief Minister, Sri KCR Garu, always reminds us is that any technology which does not have a societal impact is futile. So we believe in that dictum, that mantra, that any technology, any innovation for that matter, which does not solve an existing pain point or a problem is no good, is not something that we would encourage for the sake of encouraging it. TIE, in fact, has been very useful partner to the Telangana government. Our relationship dates way back, right since the beginning of our journey, in fact. We have received very high quality mentorship program and program support for various of our initiatives that have been rolled out in Telangana. I also fondly remember the various events that TIE held for us in California when we had visited the Bay Area in both 2015 and 16. My compliments to any of those members from the TIE chapters there who may or may not have joined us, but my compliments to them for also having encouraged the new state of Telangana about 6 or 5 years ago. I'm delighted that despite this pandemic, under your leadership, the TIE Global Summit is going ahead on this virtual platform. And just as it would have been a physical event, You've done very, very well, is what I'm told from various participants. The summit has been able to attract some of the brilliant speakers and has an equally engaged audience on this virtual platform. Of course, I would love for an opportunity to host you all in Hyderabad physically, meet with you, engage with you, and do more for our city and for our state. But I'm happy to learn that the TIE has decided also to set up its global headquarters in Hyderabad. We'll work with your office, your team, in ensuring that it becomes a reality soon. This is a very strong recognition, I believe, of the phenomenal work, all the innovation in the entrepreneurship ecosystem and stakeholders led by the Telangana government have accomplished in the last 6 years. Having TIE Global headquarters in Hyderabad will give us a further boost to all of our initiatives, and the government will be very happy to extend all possible help and support required in enabling this. I wish the entire summit, TIE Global Summit, and participants and the entire team of office bearers, all the very best. And I hope to get to, like I said, to see you all physically sometime soon in Hyderabad, hopefully in the near future. Once again, good luck and God bless. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, KTR Garu, for your encouraging words and helping the community. With this over, so Manohar is the Vice President of the TIE Hyderabad, plus also a core committee member of TIE Global Summit. Manohar.
Thank you. Thank you, Sridhar. And good evening, Honorable Minister KTR Garu, Mr. Mahavir Sharma, TIE Global Chair, and Sridhar. Thanks for the opportunity. First of all, KTR Garu, thank you so much for joining us. This is the biggest entrepreneurship conference that's happening globally at this point. As you are aware, that TIE is an organization primarily focused on giving back to the ecosystem in terms of supporting the startups through mentoring, funding, and hand-holding. And I do know that your vision, part of your vision has been establishing either it is T-Hub, T-Works, and your future vision of actually establishing the T-Bridge to create the market access for the local startups with the US or Europe-based institutions in terms of getting them channels for support in terms of incubators, accelerators, funding, and TIE is very well aligned with those objectives. And we are very happy to note that TIE Hyderabad is one of the most vibrant chapters in the globe. We do have 4,000 charter members who are established and successful entrepreneurs, and we have 15,000 associate members who are startups registered with us, and these charter members are helping these startups and beyond a lot more than these registered associate members. And I would have to submit to you that this is the only organization purely focused on giving back to the community, and we do believe in even mentoring and supporting even at the stage the young entrepreneurs, even from the high schools and colleges. We do programs called TIE Grad for the university students. We do TIE Young Entrepreneurs program for the students between the classes, grades of 9th to 12th and all of that. So with that, thank you so much for your young and dynamic leadership. And Hyderabad has become the go-to destination with your vision and the ability to connect with the industry and look into the future. And thank you so much for your support to the industry, entrepreneurship ecosystem, and TIE. I appreciate your time. Thank you very much, sir. Back to Sridhar.
Mahavir.
Thank you, Sridhar. All I need to reiterate what Manohar said. And when I was briefed about your vision of 4 years ago of T-Bridge, And when the Honorable Principal Secretary kind of told me of 5 main points that you want to achieve through that, I added one more point from our end. And I can assure you that when TI starts to work out of wherever in Hyderabad that you suggest or recommend, global and chapters across will help you with getting prospective investments through our angel program in the US. We're working with the Canadian chapters also to get them funding and get them a spot in incubation and acceleration program. So we are very, very well aware that while India's focus is to bring investments through to early stage and idea stage startups, but our startups need market access and other help and support when they go to the US and Canada and Europe. And I can assure you, if we do go forward with that arrangement, we will bring the T-Bridge to light before the 2022 TI Global Summit that will happen physically in Hyderabad. That is my word to you on behalf of TI Global Board of Trustees. Thank you.
Very kind of you, Mahavir. In fact, my bad that I had forgotten to acknowledge your presence in my opening remarks. My bad. But very, very kind of you to say that. And thank you so much for this opportunity again.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Pleasure. Thank you very much, KTR Garu. We know how busy you are and how many pressing matters that you have. And I know it's been very hard for you to find time to make this, time and be with us. But still, you're kind enough to move things and come and join us. And we will not forget, and we are inspired. And thank you very much.